We welcome you to the battle for Atlantis and a championship game. Tonight on Paradise Island, we will crown a king here as the surprise team of the tournament, the Louisville Cardinals, take on the Oklahoma Sooners for the title. We give you a look at the bracket now. Started out day one, 3 top 25 teams in play. Nobody survived among those to the final round. Louisville, of course, a couple of shocking wins, and now take on Oklahoma to decide the title. Dave O'Brien alongside Jimmy Dykes. Thanks so much for joining us wherever you are. Happy holiday as well. I don't know anyone on the island that picked these two teams to make it to the championship except for you.
Well, they forgot to tell Louisville and Oklahoma because these two teams, OB, they have gotten here out of pure tenacity, toughness, and energy, and they're both concerned about matching the other team in that area tonight. These two teams are all about grit, man. I love how the style of play. Forget about the rankings. These two teams have earned their way to this championship game.
You know this. I mean, tournament play is so unpredictable, but if you have great guards, you've got a chance, and both of these teams have great guards.
Yeah, no doubt. I've never seen a great team with bad guards, and these two guys have good ones. Jeremiah Fears, no fears I call him, should be a senior in high school, has absolutely jumped onto the national stage. This is a guy that is born to score. The mid-range game, the pull-up, he seeks contact. Very few turnovers yesterday. He's going to have a clean game today because he's up against, I think, the best defensive point guard in college basketball so far, Chucky Hepburn. Yes, he leads them in scoring. Not a great three-point shooter, has only made 8 per game. He is a downhill dynamic guard that you cannot let turn the corner and get to the glass time after time if you're Oklahoma. He's a tough cover. But Oklahoma is wired with 3 point guards on the floor to put different guys on him. We got a heck of a matchup here in the finals.
So let's decide a championship here. The tip, and Louisville comes away with that. They come in 5-1. Oklahoma undefeated at 6-0. And both teams brimming with confidence heading into the title tilt. Hepburn's first touch, now up top for Cason Pryor, who's really had an outstanding tournament so far. Downstairs, they get it to the 6'11 senior, Noah Waterman. It's a guy who can really shoot it from outside, too.
He did a really good job of burning off that pressure from that corner with a hard cut.
Oklahoma in the gray, flipped up but a miss on their first effort. And Louisville in transition. Terrence Edwards, as we give you a look at the Louisville starting lineup. Talked about Pryor. He's had an excellent run in the Bahamas. All these guys are seniors or grads. Waterman the most likely to take a big three if they need it down the stretch.
That's a Louisville team, OB, that comes in forcing 19 turnovers a game. They get 10 steals per game. Ball security for the Sooners at the top of the list on the scouting report.
Hepburn picks up the dribble. Pryor in the corner launches a long run and knocks down his first triple.
How about Hepburn? He comes off that ball screen and Oklahoma switches it. Very patient. Throws a skip pass to that backside bomb. Well done.
Bad Boy Moore's starting lineup for Oklahoma. Fears, of course, a great backcourt, along with his man Kobe Elvis, who scored 26 in the quarterfinals. And the 6'7 Jalen Moore just dropped 24 on Arizona last night. Look at the head coaches here, and this guy, Pat Kelsey for Louisville, has just done a remarkable job trying to win this tournament and trying to get Louisville back into that stage of relevancy. And they've been missing there for a long time.
He was hired to make Louisville basketball again.
Slapped away and picked up by the Cardinals. Here they come again. Edwards in the front court. He'll drive it, jumping hard into the paint, lost the handle on it.
Good job by gray jerseys to get in that paint and force him to play through trash.
Kobe Elvis had a 26-point game in the tournament. The three-pointer won't go off the iron by Miles. A second effort, and that one will rattle in.
I'm telling you, those offensive rebounds, very good at reloading is Oklahoma with those 3 perimeter point guards, able to knock down threes.
We got a technical foul here on Duke Miles after he just nailed that triple on the second effort. We've seen this a couple of times in the tournament where guys celebrating, pointing at a bench or something like that, they get teed up very quickly. The officials just aren't taking it.
No, nor should they. I mean, I love the competitive spirit in the fight, but make a three and act like you made one before and get your tail back on defense.
And a rare miss at the foul line by Pryor makes 90%. Only his 4th miss of the season. The second technical on the way, just getting started in the championship game. We saw West Virginia lock up the third place position earlier in overtime. Miles heading right to the bench.
Well, OB, he sticks the three, but then afterwards, instead of sprinting back and talking, he talks to the wrong bench. And you stick him, and Porter pulls him out and sets him down to get him to understand how we're going to play the game.
You like that idea?
Absolutely. Send a message. Darius Miles is a great kid, but things you can't allow early in this game. Duke Miles, excuse me.
Waterman from the corner, a line driver won't drop. Hadley high up for the rebound. He's double up underneath. Tough on that block. It spits free and they turn it over. Mike Roberts, Tony Padilla, and Jeb Harkness are officials here for the title. Sam Godwin's that rough tournament. He's had a difficult time staying in there as it slapped away and they turn it over.
You cannot spin move against this Louisville team. They are too strong and too tough in those gaps.
Pryor on the attack, knocked away in the quick hands of Oklahoma, and Fears on the other end. It's Hepburn reaching in. He'll commit a foul.
Chucky Hepburn is right now playing as the best defensive point guard in all of college basketball. He sprints back and almost right there gets a rip, but too much of Moore's arm. Why is he such a great defensive guard? He's strong, he's tough, he studies film, he's got lightning quick, strong hands. A complete two-way guard for Pat Kelsey.
Out of Wisconsin. He was on the Big Ten all-defensive team last year. He's had 13 steals, Jimmy, in this tournament in 2 days. Well, this outside the three, and now Fears, who has put on a show thus far here in the Bahamas, the freshman. Cross court for Moore. Moore on the drive. Pryor came over, made that very tough at 6'10". And now he'll line up a three. Second effort now for the Bill. Hepburn trying to get inside the paint. Lost his balance, banked it in, but a travel. So wave that off.
You got an outstanding guard play defensively for both clubs. And it's very difficult to get a straight line drive against Oklahoma or Louisville. Hepburn, I said again, he's only made 8 threes on the year. What he wants to do is turn the corner, get in the paint, draw fouls, and he got there, 17 times against West Virginia.
After the turnover, he looked at one of the officials and said, what happened? Well, what happened was their third consecutive turnover, and Oklahoma can do that to you. They had 12 steals against Providence College the other night. That's going to be a feathery touch by Taylor from way downtown. So a 6-6 tie. Hepburn's really been electrifying in the tournament, though, offensively and defensively. Pryor, nice dish underneath for Scott.
That weak side defense fell asleep. They got to get all the way over to the middle part of the lane. They got hugged up on that weak side. This kid with the ball should be a senior in high school. He reclassified up against a stud defender in Hepburn.
Taylor, nice dish. Godwin has it knocked away. Timeout, 15:50 to go here in the first half.
Oklahoma's making 10 threes per game. They ball screen, dive out of it, and then pop. Taylor has to have open looks for a low release. He gets it and makes them pay.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Bad Boy Power, Performance, and Attitude. By Atlantis, Paradise Island, the discovery of a lifetime. And by Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises. Pat Kelsey usually is not that calm, cool, and collected. He's usually a man on the move there. We're going to show you a little bit of addressing his team. They have had some run. It has been completely unpredictable. He has remade this team, took over a blue blood program in a shambles. Louisville's Chucky Hepburn talking about the win against West Virginia. He says, time to show the world who Chucky Hepburn is. I'm a bucket getter, one of the best point guards in the country. I stand by that. So would we.
Yeah, strong statement by Chucky Hepburn. You know what? This Louisville program has been without swagger for a long time. And Pat Kelsey takes over a proud program. Think about it. Louisville's played in 43 NCAA tournaments. They've advanced to 10 Final Fours, 3 national titles. The most important thing that Pat Kelsey did when he got the job was he got a point guard that understood what he wants to accomplish in year one. Chucky Hepburn fits right in to that Louisville tenacity, grit, confidence, swagger that you want in a first-year head coach.
Sam Godwin at the line, where he had been just 50% for the year. Oklahoma was amazing against Arizona at the foul line. They really won it at the line. They went 20 for 21. Hepburn with a slip. The drive and kick in the lane and a foul. As James Scott, the 6'11 sophomore out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, took the knock.
Oklahoma was downing or weaking Hepburn in the middle third of the floor, forcing him to go left. They put him in traffic, but he still found just enough of a pocket right here. Watch 35 Taylor. He's going to jump on that right side, force him down left. Godwin comes up to meet him. And that rotation over by Fears, the young freshman, not high enough, not tough enough to tag the roll.
Jeremiah Fears with his second foul. So both of the guards who have had spectacular tournaments on either side of this championship game tonight are having their issues.
They are. Fears is a fearless kid, but he is invaluable to have sitting on that bench. He can make plays that those other Sooner guards can't make.
Well, you have a great tournament. Word gets out, especially if you're Chucky Hepburn. You want the world to know.
Yeah.
He's had a tremendous run here, but you're also a target. Miles will drive it, slam on the brakes. The kick out for Taylor. Nice fake to get free, but can't stick it. He gets it back, though. Luce went down hard, trying to knock that one away. Goodine in the game. Kobe Elvis was the best name in college basketball. Had it batted away. The 26 against Providence College the other night. Looking to take over. It gets to Godwin. He'll slam it down. They got a little fortunate.
I keep telling you, Godwin is great at what he's good at. What he's good at is just the rugged body blow type plays around the rim on both ends.
Hepburn on the big stage. He'll give it up here. On a turnover. Sooners trying to turn that into points.
Obi, don't think for a second that Oklahoma hasn't seen that statement by Chucky Hepburn.
Right. This day and age, that took 10 seconds. Pryor with the foul, trying to deny Godwin. And he'll be back to the line. Godwin, a 6'10 senior. I'll look back at the last one. There was a tip on the pass as it got to him.
It was. I mean, a lot of deflections so far in this game by both clubs. That deflection ends up in the hands of Godwin. Per 40 minutes played, one of the better offensive rebounders in the Big 12 last year, now in the SEC. Just a rugged, tough, competitive, stay in his lane type guy.
Well, they really needed this held to 2 points and 3 rebounds by Providence College. He did not score a single point against Arizona. He was barely in the game. But this might be his kind of game here in the championship.
He's Porter Moser kind of guy. He's bouncy, he plays hard, he absorbs the scouting report, has a great voice on the defensive end, anchors that Sooner rugged defensive toughness.
Too strong on that one. At about 50% for the year at the line. We'll see if Louisville can do a better job hanging on to it. 5 turnovers in 9 possessions for the Cardinals. Edwards looking for a guard. It got to Smith. Shot clock down to 10. Trying to get around Godwin on the corner. A long pass for Hadley. Hadley trying to spin free. Has it plucked away. Good defense by Oklahoma. The spin is going to be off the iron. They're going to wave that off. A whistle instead and a foul. But no basket.
And you appreciate the effort by Godwin, but you got to leave that ball alone. It had a chance to go in. That possession by Oklahoma was an absolute Sooner clinic on the defensive end. They suffocated the ball. They put 2 on the ball screen. They rotated out. They handled the closeout really well. You can't do it any better than what Boomer Sooner just did.
So Moore to shoot 2. Jalen Moore had a bounce-back effort against Arizona. Providence shut him down just 6 points in 22 minutes, but he got 24 against Arizona and made a giant statement in that game. Man, did he look determined out of the gate.
He is outstanding at bringing his athleticism into the basketball game. One of the better athletes this year in the SEC.
So Oklahoma by 3 early. Edwards gave up the dribble, got it to Scott. Scott on a high post. He comes to Louisville from the College of Charleston. Waterman going to follow his own miss and draws the foul too. Noah Waterman, the 6'11 senior, and looking for a 3-point play for the Bill.
Yeah, mismatch. Godine is a 6'2 guard. And he got switched off somehow on big number 93, Waterman, who's 6'11 and 230. He fought as hard as he can, but the problem when you're mismatched, not so much the first shot, but the second shot. And Waterman makes him pay.
Just 1 for 7 at the foul line for the season. He was huge in their upset of Indiana, number 14 team in the country. That was the real bell ringer early in this tournament, that's for sure. Miles cross court. Taylor off his shoe, he collects it. Shot clock to 7. Elvis needs to make a move. He's going to fire a long one. And Hadley there for the rebound. The Cardinals on the move. One thing about Louisville, they are not a good 3-point shooting team. Not yet. Just 30% for the year. It's an area that really scuffle.
And no doubt. And they take, what, 32, 33 of them a game.
Hadley on the dribble. Hadley working on more. Nice give. Waterman right in there for 2.
Oklahoma is getting mismatched against those bigs the last 2 possessions. Now the concern for Louisville, they are going to have to defend probably 240 ball screens in this game against Oklahoma.
But will launch that one and knock it down. He has tremendous range, the big fella.
And it all comes off with that ball screen. You got to know the personnel, who's setting the screen, what can he do. Louisville doesn't understand that kid's a 3-point pick and pop threat.
He will do that all day long if you let him. Hadley wants the paint. Lost his balance, and he's going to travel. So Oklahoma by 2 in the championship.
It's Waterman on the inside doing damage for Louisville. The size, the cutting ability comes into play, but on the opposite end, you're looking at a 6'11 kid that is a pick and pop threat. Louisville's got to talk about that in the timeout.
Get ready for the new 12-team college football playoff with the new ESPN Fantasy CFP Bracket Challenge presented by AT&T. Sign up today.
Big weekend coming up too. SEC on ABC this Saturday. Rivalry weekend. We start with number 8 Tennessee taking on Vandy at noon Eastern. Certainly no layup there. Then number 13 Alabama and Auburn, the 89th annual Iron Bowl at Bryant-Denny. And we cap the night with number 3 Texas, number 20 Texas A&M at College Station. Great lineup on ABC and ESPN+.
Yeah, Vanderbilt would like nothing better than to ruin Tennessee's season. And that bottom game, all right versus Gig'em, will go to a whole nother level with what's at stake at that one. Obi, too much information slows your feet. 3 games in a row, 3 scouting reports to absorb. You got to be simple and sound and clear. And what does that translate so far? Oklahoma's got a 6'11 guy that can really shoot the ball. Northweather in those pick and pop situations. You got to understand personnel in this game.
Forsythe with a kick out to the big. Miles up top. Hey, how about Oklahoma finished picked to finish 15th in the preseason in the SEC poll? And to that we say, really?
No doubt.
15? Number 15? I know the SEC is a brutal conference, but really?
No league has performed better overall than the SEC through the month of November. And that makes that SEC ACC challenge next week very important to the ACC.
Pryor with a touch. Waterman can't drill it in. Nice job by Pryor to tap it out, keep it alive for a second effort. He's going to hit a three if he can get it to go, but not this time. Waterman again. He turns and fires. They continue to crash the glass, but this time the Sooners come away with it. We'll see if Jalen Moore can start to put his stamp on the game. Miles will shove off there, and that's going to be an offensive foul as he went with a left arm to clear.
And Oklahoma goes with a double up or a horns action, what most people call it. But you bring your two bigs up and let your point guard operate off of it. And right there, that push is obvious. I mean, he's covered up. Louisville defense been good all week long on the island at keeping those guards out of the paint and keeping them outside that lane line, making them take tough twos.
Louisville needed overtime to beat West Virginia in the semifinal on Thanksgiving. They embarrassed Indiana day one, 89-61. Well, they're 8-2 on this court all time in the battle for Atlantis. Pryor again got a good look, but off the front iron. Hepburn back in there, although he is off to a spotty start. Almost lost that one out of bounds. Jason Pryor from USF cross court. It's Hepburn. Yes, a three-pointer.
Yeah, only his 9th made three of the year, but they're tough guys, make tough shots.
So he puts Louisville in front by one. Fears will launch. Got it. And the two-star guards are back at it.
And this kid is so smooth for a guy that should be a senior in high school, reclassified, went from playing in the Peach Jam to arriving on Norman's campus when fall classes begin. And he has grown up the past 3 days on this island.
Pryor again, another nice look for Waterman. I'll tell you what, Kason Pryor can dish it. If there's an open man cutting, he's going to find it.
No doubt. And it's the bigs right now of Louisville that are doing the damage in terms of off-ball cutting to the rim.
Back and forth we go, tied at 18. Moore straight on. Yes.
He's a real weapon because he's an athletic stretch four that can make enough threes that make you guard him honestly.
Hepburn coming off 32 points, a career high. He'll swing it well for Edwards. And he sticks the three.
Obi, I will say this. Oklahoma really loads to the ball side of the floor. You've got to have some skip pass action, just like Louisville did to the backside.
Right, back that one away. It'll be Sooner ball. Oklahoma is 6-0. If 8 different players make their debut in their season openers, so Porter Moser's done a really nice job blending this team pretty quickly. Second straight year they've gone 6-0. Last year they were 10-0 before they lost to North Carolina, eventually peaking at 13-1. They looked like they were on their way, but then the Big 12 schedule started. They went 8-10, and they just missed the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they sure did. Oklahoma's been the first team out in year 1 and year 3 under Porter Moser.
Shot clock to 2. Fears has to hustle. And Pryor snagged the rebound. Louisville by this point in the season, well, a lot of people figured, at least outside their program, they might have a couple of losses. They have just the one at the hands of Tennessee. They got thumped by Tennessee 77-55, but they learned a lot from that one. From the corner, the jumper won't fall for Elvis. Right back up, it's Moore, and he takes the hit. He'll be at the line.
Obi, you mentioned Tennessee. They're one of the best 5 teams in the country. Look at Tennessee on KenPom right now. They're 8 in the country on offensive efficiency, number 2 defensive efficiency. So they're going to knock a lot of people around. But to your point, Louisville understood how hard, how physical they got to play every possession in that game.
Pryor picked up his second personal. Tied up at 21. He has 4 early points. He's been really active, really on both sides. He's going to put Moore to the line, though. Jalen Moore, the senior from Birmingham, Alabama. The second annual SEC ACC Challenge begins Tuesday night. Our featured men's basketball matchups: number 19 Arkansas and Miami, Then our ESPN doubleheader, number 7 Tennessee hosting Syracuse in Knoxville. That's followed by number 8 Kentucky and Clemson at Little John Arena.
Arkansas got knocked around by a really good Illinois team yesterday. And Kentucky offensively, I'll be there Tuesday night with Carl Ravitch, one of the most exciting, dynamic offensive teams we have right now in the college game.
Smith, the lefty, can't hit it. Another second chance. Smith down the lane. Hepburn swings it for Waterman. Shot clock a factor now to 7. Edwards trying to spin into the paint and rolls it in.
Yeah, good player, tough shot. You're going to have to make some tough twos in this game, I think, on both ends. Very difficult so far to get Oklahoma in a defensive rotation. They are guarding the ball with tenacity and force.
Baldwin right back out for Taylor. Out of contact, now a foul. Will go against the Cardinals. That was with 8 on the shot clock. Exactly 7 minutes to go before halftime. Two very hungry-looking teams here in the Bahamas.
I just can't wait.
This is SEC ACC basketball.
Let's go! Comes down to pride.
We'll do the very best we can to represent the SEC.
Let's go.
Yeehaw!
Pony up and watch out. Bring it on.
There's some history, there's some hatred.
Roll, Tide, roll.
Sting out.
That's a lot of basketball. December 3rd through the 5th. And should be outstanding again. And it's Alabama, North Carolina at 7:15. Auburn, well, you go out and you win Maui, and guess what you get? You get to go to Cameron Indoor.
No doubt. Kansas will still be #1 when the ranking comes out tomorrow. I would put Auburn there just based on what they've done so far. No team's playing better than Auburn, and no individual player is playing better than Janai Broome. That will be a real test for Auburn, coming back from Maui, flushing the success out of their system, recovering their bodies, flying to Duke on Wednesday. I said it yesterday. To me, that's a must-win for Duke. They've swung and missed so far on their 2 biggest opportunities. They have Auburn coming into Cameron Indoor. And that place should be hopping.
Here's a look at your SEC preseason poll. Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, and then Arkansas and Texas A&M 1 through 5. But Auburn, you can't make a bigger statement than Auburn has by knocking off that field in Maui. And let's see what happens against the Duke Blue Devils. It should be a great basketball game.
Yeah, it's early, but Auburn right now, the best offensive efficiency team in the country. And they have been tested against real teams.
The Sooners doing a very good job of keeping Hepburn out of the lane for the most part. Edwards on the curl, gets it back out for Hadley, but it's not there for him.
And it gives a coach a lot of confidence when you got 5 guys on the floor, OB, that says, hey, I can guard mine, coach. We're good. And Oklahoma right now kind of has that look in their eye at all 5 positions.
Sooners with the ball and leading by 1 in the championship game here in the Bahamas. Godwin gave it up. Boy, that's a tough shot underneath, but Moore makes a lot of those.
Good, simple offense. You run a middle ball screen and you get your best athlete in the dunker spot. Godwin drops it off. Really well done.
Godwin, a good passer, very willing passer in the lane. Scott at 6'11", he'll hand that off. Edwards wants to launch it off the back of the iron. Rebound tipped out. Louisville keeps it alive again. Edwards won't be denied, and he sticks it. Good player, right?
Tough kid that James Madison for 4 years, part of that NCAA team last year.
Yeah, Pat Kelsey says he's my do-everything guy.
Yeah.
Does a lot of things well. Bryson Goodine, who is back in the fold for the Sooners, missed a bunch of games early this season, but they got him back in the Bahamas. An ankle injury he's recovered from. Here's Taylor. Rebound tipped out high, and it is out As the officials look at each other and go the other way, it'll be Louisville ball.
Back to Oklahoma's last basket, though. Middle ball screen. And Hadley has the responsibility of checking more, but he steps up to stop the ball. That's why you put a guy in the dunker spot, because it's a real problem. Do I leave him and allow a layup, or do I come off of him and allow the dunker spot to get involved? Simple offense, hard to guard.
Well, an unexpected championship, to be sure. Oklahoma and Louisville. The Cardinals picked to finish 9th in the ACC. They were 8-24 last year. They won just 4 games a couple of years ago.
Well, it's great to have Louisville back relevant in college basketball. There's not a better fan base in all of college ball, or the Yum Center when it's full. And Pat Kelsey, when you talk to him, he is extremely grateful. I mean, he'll even say, I wake up on days I still can't believe I'm the Louisville coach. Well, believe it, coach, because you've earned it. His time at Winthrop and College of Charleston, all he's done is win, and he does it the right way. That great combination that Bob McKillop said yesterday of toughness and tenderness. I think Pat Kelsey has it down to perfection.
Oh, it's so much fun talking with the former Davidson head coach, his son now running the program. That'll rattle in for more. Starting to get going now. All Big 12 honorable mention as a junior, a senior. Expected to have a big, big season for Oklahoma. Waterman, too strong. Oklahoma looking for some breathing room now in the title game. Elvis shovels the pass. Moore can't finish it.
Elvis should have taken that wide open elbow jump shot. Man, that's where he's cash money.
In traffic, Edwards can't finish it.
Reverse it.
Elvis finds some open space, kicks it out. Long jumper on the way. Got it. Good eye from the corner.
It took a little while to get it there, but they finally got that ball reversed in their secondary break to a wide open three-point shot.
6'4" grad student, man, are they happy to have him back. Here's Hadley looking to answer. That's not the strength of this team, and a whistle with 3:33 to go, and those threes are not falling for the Cardinals. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement. And by Bad Boy Mowers, legendary for power, performance, and attitude.
The Jeep halftime report is on the way. Coming up, we'll show you the 3rd overtime game in 3 days for West Virginia, plus a Buckeye bullseye for Pitt. We'll explain. Sean, what's the difference right now?
It's turnovers. It came into this game. Look, Oklahoma had 17 turnovers yesterday, and as disruptive as Louisville's been, we say, hey, if they get the turnover battle and they soar out in front of that defense advantage, it's been the other way. Oklahoma's capitalized on 8 turnovers.
Oklahoma's getting paint touches and playing off of those paint touches and scoring, and they're keeping Louisville out of the paint. That's a win for Oklahoma.
We're going to run through the Friday in college basketball, OB, when we see you at the half.
Look forward to that. 31-25 Oklahoma. Guys breaking it down there. They'll have a lot more on this one at halftime. But how about Chucky Hepburn? He's been kind of a non-factor.
Yeah, to Seth's point, they're keeping Louisville out of the paint. They're keeping Chucky Hepburn out of the paint. He's only got 1 shot attempt in this game. And he's got 1 assist and 2 turnovers. I talked about defensively. I think Kylan Boswell at Illinois, Zakai Ziegler at Tennessee, and this kid, the best 3 on-ball defenders I've seen this year, but he's the heartbeat of this Louisville team. Offensively, he's their leading scorer. He's the guy that gives them gas. And Oklahoma right now, they've got multiple guards that have taken that challenge to say, okay, you say you're the best point guard in college ball, you're a terrific player. We're going to make you work in this game tonight.
Well, he's had a great tournament. The transfer from Wisconsin was huge against Indiana. 16 points, 10 assists, and 7 steals. And then he really led them against West Virginia offensively in overtime. 32 points for the game, a career high. So far, it's been rough sledding for him in the championship game. Pryor with a difficult angle, banks it in. Jason Pryor, the senior out of Chicago, 5th-year guy. And his coach, Pat Kelsey, says he's a modern-day player. He can play any position on the floor. Goodine is fouled in the act of nailing a three. He has given the Sooners a great lift in this first half.
Yeah, Obi, I'm telling you, I'm not a guy that encourages cursing, but from a coaching standpoint, this is the one time to maybe let one slip. You never jump towards a three-point shooter, lose your balance. Goodine makes him pay. And you want to run this guy off the line and be there on the catch and make him do something off the bounce. Frustration for Pat Kelsey.
So Goodine, after hitting the three, steps to the line. You and I have worked probably 40, 50 games over the years. I have never heard you cuss. Not one time.
No, but you'd also never seen one of my guys foul a three-point shooter.
True enough. 3:08 to go in the half. And Oklahoma getting a little bit comfortable here, 35-27. Louisville really chilly, especially from downtown, at least to this point. Pryor rolling and firing, but too strong. Obi Elvis out of Brampton, Ontario. He's had one giant game in this tournament for Oklahoma. St. Cole trying to make a move underneath, tried to wriggle free, but blocked from behind by Ruths. Deny Ruths, a freshman, getting a hand on it.
There have been multiple ball screens set by Oklahoma on every offensive possession. And Louisville's going to have to tighten it up. I don't think you throw your fastball every time. You change up your coverages, but you cannot allow good guards to turn the corner and get downhill.
Sooners trying to get it in over the top here for Jalen Moore. Goodine. Strong off the window, too strong.
Good job of defending without fouling.
Hepburn, and he'll be fouled as he spilled to the deck. He spent a lot of time on the hardwood in this one. Porter Moser not happy with something.
You put Porter Moser in fatigues, he would be an unbelievable drill sergeant in the Army, wouldn't he? I mean, he's just got the look, the voice, the tenacity, the whole thing.
He sure does, and great energy.
He lost two studs, man. Otega Owe transferred out to Kentucky, and Milos Uzan to Houston. They got outbid on the NIL level, but he has reloaded, and he loves the guys that he has right now.
Bring back to Pryor. Off the dribble. Tried the window and came up empty. Oklahoma with the momentum. And doing it without their tremendous young guard, Jeremiah Fears, who's been on the bench a ton here with 2 fouls. Moore on the attack, taking on Pryor and hits it.
You just sometimes got to win your one-on-one battle, and that's exactly what Moore did. The hesitation dribble, one of the most athletic 4 men in the SEC this year.
9-2 run here for the Sooners. Booth spinning inside. Here's Waterman. 90 seconds before the break, and Oklahoma picked up a lot of steam the last 5 minutes. Edwards in that paint. It's been hard to get in there, but he'll knock it down.
Good job of the hostage dribble, putting the defender in the caboose situation, and then playing very patiently off of 2 feet.
Porter wants a timeout here with 1:09 before halftime. So we've got a timeout. Oklahoma leading at 37-29. They'll have the ball.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
Yeah, Boomer Sooner trying to win a championship here in the battle for Atlantis.
Watch Jalen Moore right here. I mean, he hesitated, dribble, and kind of reloaded. And that's when Pryor, I think, raised up in his defensive stance a little bit to catch his breath, and bam, 14 makes the play. There's that hostage dribble. You get that primary defender in the caboose position like a train going down the track, and then we'll operate it off of it from there. Really well done by Edwards. Man, you talk about a team that is locked in and loaded on the defensive end. Boomer Sooner has been it so far in the first 19 minutes of this game.
13 points for Jalen Moore. Comes in averaging 18 and 6 rebounds, but 24 against Arizona in the semifinal game. I thought Oklahoma played the best game of the tournament of anybody against Arizona. 20 out of 21 at the line. A lot of big foul shots. 41% from 3. Yep. They had 9 steals in the game.
I agree.
And won the battle of the boards too. Elvis with it. Shot clock at 10. Under a minute to go in the first half. Moore came up, says screen, round the back pass for him. He can't stick it.
Oh, that was slick though, was it not? Behind the back pass, delivered it on point.
Hepburn's been real quiet off to Edwards. Hepburn with a second chance. The guard snatching a rebound. Half a minute before halftime. Edwards been very active with the ball. He gets bottled up a bit. Hepburn launches a long one. He hits it.
He had to work though. Oklahoma multiple times they switched off on 24 and White. But this kid's going to find a way, man, to get involved in this game.
Louisville needed that one desperately.
He is too tough and too good to not put up a fight for 40.
Sooners trying for that last shot. Elvis with the kick and Moore with the slam.
Again, out of the dunker spot, Jalen Moore. Simple, sound offense. Hard to guard, man. When you can't stay in front of the ball, bad things happen. Chucky Hepburn right here, OB. He's fighting his tail off just to get open. That's a pretty good closeout with a high hand by Taylor. And then to close out the half, a straight line drive by Elvis, turns the corner. Hepburn doesn't want to pick up a foul, and Waterman rotates over. Moore, time and time again, out of that left dunker spot has been a real factor in this first half.
We're at the break. Oklahoma leading Louisville in the championship by 7. Let's go to the studio. Kev, Sean, and Seth.
This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one. This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
Welcome back to Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. You are watching the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis, the championship game between Oklahoma and Louisville. The Sooners on top 39-32 over the Ville. The Sooners 7 out of 14 from three-point land. Dave O'Brien, Jimmy Dykes with you. But Jimmy, they're also getting it done down low, especially Jalen Moore, who has 15 in the first half.
Well, what Oklahoma has done, they put him in the dunker spot. I want to make sure we all understand what that looks like. Jalen Moore is number 14 here on my whiteboard, and he's sitting right there, OB, just outside the lane. So now anytime the ball comes downhill, his defender is in a bind. If he steps over to stop the ball, that's a drop-off for a dunk, or if the ball is driven baseline, it's a drop-off for a dunk. We got a couple of plays to show it, but that's the dunker spot where Porter Moser has decided in this game, I'm going to put Jalen Moore. There he is, 14 in black. The ball comes downhill, his defender steps over, the athlete now takes over out of the dunker spot. You get your butt to the baseline, you have good vision to find the pass, and then attack the rim. To close out the half, they go to the other side away from him. But Elvis is going to get downhill. He's sitting in the dunker spot. He shows his numbers to the ball. He does a good job of not chasing the ball, sucking up to the ball, lets the ball find him, and a closing out finishing play. That dunker spot is simple, sound basketball with an athlete like Jalen Moore.
He's getting those looks close in. He's converting. He's 5 out of 8. As you look at the first half stats, Louisville, as mentioned, not a good three-point shooting team. Just 4 out of 16 from beyond the arc. They have the basketball as we begin the second 20 minutes with a championship on the line here in the Bahamas. Chucky Hepburn will launch right away, but a misfire. A whistle in the lane in the opening seconds of the second half. And a foul will go against Sam Godwin. He'll pick up number 1. Jeremiah Fears, the outstanding young guard, the freshman for the Sooners, sat a huge hunk of that first half with 2 personal fouls.
But the guard depth of Porter Moser with Godine being able to play in this tournament has kept Oklahoma with that 7-point advantage.
Fears is in there in the second half. Jason Pryor will kick it out. Hadley gets it back to him. Pryor. It didn't touch anything. Out it goes.
Pryor's going to keep putting him up, though, and it's concerning because he's a 14% three-point shooter on the year. So there's a reason why he's open.
Instrumental in his semifinal victory over West Virginia with 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 block shots. Cardinals looking for somebody to really step up here before it's too late. Kobe Elvis on the dribble. Back out for Fears. Little push off there, no call. Waterman there for the rebound. And 2 men down. Both Pryor and Hepburn are down, and Pryor is writhing in agony. Hepburn down 2. And Pryor slamming the floor with both hands. Well, Hepburn is up, but Pryor's still down. 6'10" senior from Chicago, averaging 13.7 rebounds a game. He's a top rebounder. And he is in agony. So one of Louisville starters, and one of their top 2 or 3 players at the moment unable to get to his feet.
He has averaged 14 points and 7 boards in the 2 games on the island.
And Pat Kelsey out there with the training staff. He's up in a seated position anyway. He's had a really nice tournament here. Transfer from USF, 5th-year man. And this Louisville turnaround, much of it can be attributed to his early play. Boy, for about 30 seconds, 2 of the starters were on the floor, Hepburn and Pryor. Chucky is up and looking like he's going to be just fine, but we'll see about Case and Pryor.
Tough kid. His dad, Sean, played hoops at Oregon State. This is a young man that only played 62 total minutes in his first 2 years at the college level at Boise State. And that is encouraging news. That Pryor is at least up, not showing any ability to put weight on it at all yet.
I don't know if you saw that reaction when he went to do that on that left leg. He winced badly. And he's going to need help just to get over to the Louisville bench. And he's in a lot of pain. Needless to say, a huge loss for the Cardinals here in the championship game in the battle for Atlantis. Also happens to be their best foul shooter. Take a look at what happened here as he went crumbling to the floor. Oh, he got clipped by his own man.
Definitely got hyperextended.
That was Chucky Hepburn, went right into that leg.
Yes. You hope he's okay, because to your point, he's a very important piece to these pieces that fit in the first year under Pat Kelsey. Tough, really active defensive guy, right?
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything, and he has been their best passer in this game. He has 4 assists.
Yeah.
And he's going to be going right by that bench and heading to their locker room, I would bet, right now. But needed a lot of help just to get over to the bench. You can sit him on the bench at the moment. Louisville with the ball, but they have just suffered a major blow. Hadley up top. Going in strong, lays it up and in, fouled by Miles, who tried to stick with him at 6'2".
Obi, that's a really aggressive response by Louisville coming off of an injury. Sometimes it'll take a couple of trips to get your motor rev back up, but they get the ball in the middle third for Hadley, who, in my opinion, his defense is a big reason why Louisville is in the championship game. He got all over Tucker DeVries. Held him to 3 out of 9, but a nice response by Louisville to an injury.
And Javon Hadley, the 6'6" senior, with a 3-point play. It's exactly what the Cardinals needed after what they just watched with Pryor hobbling off the floor. So now Jeremiah Fears, if you've not seen any of the tournament, he has been a whirlwind for the Sooners. Top 5 national recruit at his position. He's been spectacular here. Working on Hepburn. That's a heck of a battle between those two. Shot clock down to 3 and stripped away by Hepburn. In transition to Edwards. Edwards trying to swoop in. He can't convert.
And how strong and tough, though, is Chucky Hepburn as an on-ball and off-ball gap defender. Just ripped it.
Mentioned he had 13 steals the first 2 games of the tournament. Up and over 4 more. Again, getting down on that block, but he can't make it.
Yeah, and again, more, though, making a play out of the dunker spot. Oklahoma's going to stay with a steady diet of it.
Hepburn bottled up, gets it free. Edwards out of Atlanta at 6'6", tapped away from him and stolen by the Sooners. Trying to make points out of that. Here's Fears again. We've seen Jeremiah Fears make 2 or 3 of the most fantastic shots in this tournament.
Yeah, he sure did. Now, he hasn't tried to do anything crazy yet in this game, which is really good because he's got a little bit of that peach jam still left in him at times.
Elvis in and out. He's also playing with 2 fouls, talking about Fears. Hadley wants to go strong, denied, and a foul.
I like this kid. I like him a lot.
Going strong.
Don't you?
Yes, indeed.
He was on a really good Colorado team last year. They got in the second round of the NCAAs. Watch Hepburn right here. Just give me that ball, man. It gets a rugged, tough athlete like Moore. His hand strength and his toughness in those gaps is exceptional.
Elvis was first foul to put Hadley at the line, where he makes 80%. Louisville has been the story in the battle for Atlantis. Huge upset of number 14 Indiana on day 1. A come from behind victory over West Virginia in overtime to get to the title game. Nobody put them in this bracket into the championship game. Trying to chip away a bit within 3.
Grit, moxie, toughness, tenacity, fighters on the floor. That describes both of these teams. That's why they're here.
Fears trying to corner around Hepburn, lost it. Chucky had a lot to do with that. Edwards Jr. took the bump and it almost dropped in. Off balance shot. For the senior from Atlanta. And he'll be headed to the line.
It was Oklahoma scoring off their defense in the first half, and now Louisville, they're getting involved in that part of it as well. Fears just out of control, really nowhere to go. He's trying to drive the ball through a defensive team meeting, which is never a good idea. And he has got to keep those mistakes at a minimum against a Louisville team here in the championship game.
The officials getting together here, and right now not planning to shoot a non-shooting foul. And so Hepburn will put it in instead from the baseline. Hadley again looking to operate. Finds the lane, slipped a little bit and traveled with it. It's happened 2 or 3 times in this game.
It has. But a really good job by Taylor to be big on the ball. And Taylor 35 just fighting for his life right now. And that's just one-on-one, man-on-man. Who's going to win my battle? And Taylor won that one.
Oh, Hepburn hit the deck right into Taylor on a nasty screen. Jumped right back up. He's taking a beating in this game. Taylor to penetrate. Weather will give it up. Shot clock a factor now. Down to 6. Thrown out near midcourt. Fears has to get it up in the air way downtown, and he can't hit. Hepburn trying to get the Cardinals offense going. Oftentimes he is that offense. Scott at 6'11" over the top. Hadley finds some room to work. Rebound came off his shoe and a foul. (39-36) Oklahoma. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's knows home improvement, and by Bad Boy Mowers, made American tough to last a lifetime.
It's amazing how much can be accomplished when nobody cares who gets the credit. It's amazing how much can be accomplished when nobody cares who gets the credit. Every dog has its day. You're going to be in the media and everybody's going to talk, and he's going to, it doesn't matter. And the coaches will go back to work, we'll figure out who we're going to play next, and we're going to go win a freaking championship.
Louisville fired up last night after their victory against West Virginia that put them into the championship. You know, Louisville has had 5 head coaches since Rick Pitino departed in 2017. They got a guy who's going to stick here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he was hired to make Louisville basketball again, and the Louisville brand is back. They have established that this week here in Atlantis. They are 5-35 in ACC play the last 2 years. A complete rebuild job by Pat Kelsey, and he's off to a phenomenal start. And this kid has a whole lot to do with it. Hepburn, I said in the first half, he can be quiet for a while, but he will not go away easily.
Louisville within 1. Last foul, by the way, before the break was on Jeremiah Pierce's 3rd for Oklahoma. Moore denied, but he will head to the line as he draws the foul.
Porter Moser takes Jalen Moore out of the dunker spots, puts him at the free throw line. This is Hepburn's game right here. He just fights and fights and fights to finally get inside the paint. He is a 2-point part of the floor point guard, is the strength of Chucky Hepburn. Louisville right now, OB, they have a 26-14 advantage on the board. That could be a big number for Oklahoma to overcome.
Waterman's 2nd foul puts Moore to the line. And good foul shooter, 82%. All Big 12 honorable mention as a junior. This year gunning for all SEC. Gotta like his chances. Off to an excellent start this season. Thus far, he's had a big championship game for Porter Moser. His 2nd free throw good.
Talking to Porter Moser about an hour before the game, he said, "I'm very concerned. We pride ourselves on energy, toughness, and grit, and we're up against a team that does the same thing. 2 teams that really mirror each other, but 2 young, aggressive, hard-nosed coaches."
Louisville forced to play almost all of the 2nd half without Case and Pryor. That's a huge loss for the Cardinals. Can they overcome it? Tossed into the backcourt. That'll be a violation. Back over to the Sooners it goes. Oklahoma got by Providence in a wild one in round 1, 79-77. Providence could have won that game at the buzzer, and the Sooners never would have made it here.
Yeah, it was an amazing, odd, unique finish to a ball game that you'll ever see. Too many men on the floor. You see that in ice hockey, but hardly ever in a basketball game.
Yeah. Providence made the 2 technical foul shots and almost hit it at the buzzer to win the game after being down 7 with about 30 seconds to go. Elvis gives up the dribble. Taylor on the baseline, and a foul will go the other way.
Good offense. I mean, good defense by Louisville, because Oklahoma came with a 1-4 flat. They had 4 guys on the baseline, and Moore came sprinting up to set a ball screen. They get the ball to the middle 3rd of the floor, but look at Hepburn again. One of the best defensive guards in the country, on ball, off ball, rotating down to take away dunks. He sees the game 1 pass ahead as a defender, like you also want him to see it as a point guard on the offensive end. It's unique.
He's spending more time on the deck than he is upright in this game. He took a hit there for the offensive. Scott up top, looking for a cutter. Hadley lets fly. Waterman plucks the rebound, right back up strong.
That's that rebound advantage that's really starting to pile up against Oklahoma. A big concern is that number.
Later tonight, our 3rd place game, it'll be Davidson and Gonzaga, 5th place game. Moore on the drive, denied, and a whistle.
So Porter Moser gave Louisville Dose of more out of the dunker spot in the first half. And now he's putting him more at the nail position, that free throw line, and letting him just get downhill and use his advantage as a 6'7" driver, coming downhill with force, moving 14 around to different spots on the floor, making him a tough cover.
Foul on James Scott as he picked number 2. The second annual NBA Cup continues tonight. Another group stage doubleheader coming your way. James Harden and the Clippers taking on Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves in number 1, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific.
Dalton Connect right now is running away with the NBA Rookie of the Year. And guys in the league are tweeting about it themselves.
And knocks them both back, and it's 43-40 Oklahoma.
Your competitive endurance will be tested 3 games, 3 days.
Hepburn trying to get free and draws the foul with 13:53 to go. And Chucky's starting to feel it a little bit, looking more and more like the guard who was spectacular in the first 2 games here in the Bahamas.
You got to keep him out of the paint, and you can't let him put fouls on you. Look at Oklahoma OB right now. That's a 17th foul with almost 14 minutes to go in this game. And a lot of it is because of Hepburn's just dog-determined drives with force to bring the officials into the game.
Louisville just 2. Elvis picked up the personal. And Hepburn heads to the line. Excellent there at 86%. And a miss there. Or tiptoeing on the baseline, was able to save it. Jeremiah Fears, who's had some great moments here in the Bahamas, but he has been dogged by foul trouble in this one. Back out for Taylor. Pass didn't get there. Roos with the pick. And a big youngster will lay it in.
A bad decision by Fears. Hope is not a plan, and that's exactly what he did with that basketball, with that lazy high school pass.
Roos out of Washington, D.C. is the only freshman on the roster for the Cardinals. Elvis. The kick out here for Fears. Pull up pop, a line driver, no. And he's not been in rhythm at all in this game.
No, that's what you do to young guards, though.
Ruth's going up high and can't get it there. The save into the paint. Fears comes away with it. Louisville with an opportunity to take the lead there. Sooners by 1. Moore on a stop. Draws a lot of attention to turnaround. Makes it.
You have to be an explosive athlete to gather yourself and rise up and make a tough 2 like Moore just did. Like he's on a launch pad taking off.
Sooners needed that one badly. Javon Hadley out of St. Paul, Minnesota. And again, he goes down. It's happened a few times in this game, a couple times for each team, actually. With 12-12 remaining. He took a tumble back to the other end.
I mean, Jalen Moore is keeping Oklahoma alive offensively. And his ability to keep his poise and then get his feet underneath his shoulders to explode up. You can't jump high if you're trying to jump with your feet outside your shoulders. He understands the chemistry or whatever it is behind that to get himself in a powerful position with a high release to make a tough 2.
Hadley committed the foul, so back over to Oklahoma.
Physics, I think, would be the right word for that.
Physics.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's out of my league, I know that. Elvis with the kick. Moore. He delivers a 3-pointer. And look at the emotion by Jalen Moore coming back up the floor.
Yeah, why not, right? You're on the championship game in the Atlantis, trying to get the Sooners to 7-0 when no one believed in Oklahoma to start this season.
24 points. He's been carrying the load here in the championship. Smith on the drive. Tough left-handed shot won't drop. Godwin with a tough rebound. Good eye off the fake. Oklahoma leading at 48-42. Elvis on the drive. The scoop is up and good.
He is in the building, and he went right through the elbow. If you're a guard and you win that drive through the elbow, man, good things happen for you.
Roos will line up a long one. He can't answer. Rebound tipped. Nice save there by Smith. And a long-range shot. Nice feathery touch as he returns it.
That is absolute money for Smith. He's a specialist, allergic to the two-point part of the floor. But a threat from out there. And Jalen Moore out of the dunker spot, making plays out of the corner and knocking threes out of the corner. Why Oklahoma has a 50-45 lead. They're right to win the nail, win the elbow as a guard. Good things happen. Elvis plays to a great beat. And there's a good boy right there. Yes, sir, Sebo. Who's a good boy. I'm sure he's watching this right now.
The new college football playoff begins December 20th and 21st.
Back at our championship game here in the battle for Atlantis. Oklahoma on top of Louisville by 5. And Jalen Moore has been the man for the Sooners. 7 out of 11 shooting it. 8 for 8 at the line. Jimmy, 24 points.
Jalen Moore is about the right stuff. And that's straight from Porter Moser to me about a month ago when I was talking to him about his ball club. And he has worked and worked and worked. And think about this. He only made 4 threes at Georgia Tech. He was a non-shooting threat when he transferred into Oklahoma. But, man, he has worked his tail off. He always wins that sprint, the first 3 steps, like Porter Moser talks about, running from one end to the other. He's an explosive first 3-step guy. And 24 points, has knocked down 2 threes and continues just to be a demon driving the ball from multiple spots on the floor where Porter is moving him around.
He's a great communicator, too. You always see him talking to his teammates. And directing traffic out there. Elvis trying to make a move. Step back 3. Can't drain that. Hadley grabs the rebound. And the Cardinals looking for some momentum behind Chucky Hepburn. He takes on the freshman guard Fears. On the drive, Edwards in and out. The follow is up and good. Hadley, Johnny on the spot.
His defender had to step up and challenge the shot, which frees him up for a clean offensive rebound.
So back to a 3-point game. Fears to work. Tough drive. Yes. With that blow by Step.
Now he's been held in check. But he also hasn't made any crazy plays. Remember, he's being guarded by a kid that's 5-6 years older than him and one of the best defenders in college ball.
The man with the ball right now, Hepburn, between the legs, little bump, got it.
He just knocked Elvis out of the building on that play. His one-on-one isolation, trusting 24 is Pat Kelsey to make a play.
Fears taking on Hadley. Again, more contact. He flipped it up there. The shot did go. They're going to wave it off. But that was an acrobatic shot. He's made a lot of those in this tournament. This one, unfortunately, will not count.
Chucky Hepburn made the statement, not a better point guard in the country than me. He's been held in check for a while. Oklahoma's making him work, but trust me, 24 is going to have an impact on this game.
$1.99 menu. Live free, eat Sonic.
OB, the one stat that a coach controls is minutes played. And it's hard to take Jalen Moore out of the game. He's played 27 minutes so far. Out of the dunker spot, now making plays from the nail right there at the middle of that free throw line. He's a driving force, and he doesn't overbounce it. His development as a three-point shooter means you have to honest guard him. But this is the guy that does a lot of stuff off of 1 or 2 bounces. He stays within his lane. And about the right stuff is about the best compliment that the coach can give you, and that's how Porter Moser describes Jalen Moore.
Indeed. Well, back-to-back 24-point games, career high, and 9 minutes to go to top that. Career high, he said yesterday against Arizona. So he has had a great run here. And you're talking about days 2 and 3 in a 3-day tournament.
Yeah.
He's been getting better and better.
He has.
Fears calls a play. Oklahoma on top 52-49. They want more to touch it again. Backing on in the turnaround. It's been a good shot for him throughout the tournament in the Bahamas, but not this time. Hepburn looking for room to operate. Rain Smith, the senior from Australia. Rain's a good name for a guy who makes 42% from three-point territory. Hepburn on the drive, but no. Scott with the finish on the stuff.
The value of a guard that can get the ball on the glass is sometimes not valued enough. That's what Hepburn did. Didn't make the first shot, but he got the defense in a rotation. And the Louisville cleanup now has this to a 1-point game.
James Scott, the big sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina. He followed Pat Kelsey from the College of Charleston to the Ville. He's made an impact in this one. Fears, and he's going to hit the deck as he's denied and a whistle.
He is so fast with that first step with the basketball is Fears.
As you have been calling him throughout the tournament, Jeremiah No Fears.
No doubt. He can get down the lane. I've seen some of the top freshman point guards in that 2024 class, which he reclassified to. I haven't seen one faster than this kid with the ball.
At the foul line in round 1, he went 12 for 14. He drained the first one. Against Arizona, he was 8 for 8 at the line. And a lot of those pressure foul shots. Again, the Sooners went 20 for 21 at the line against Arizona. It's a big reason they won.
His body and his face still screams, I'm really young. We're talking about Fears. But he's not entitled. He wants to be coached. He works his tail off. He didn't come in with a big ego. He has blended really well with an older team. A big-time find for Porter Moser late in the recruiting circle.
He was one of the best young guards in the country. Hepburn over the top, picked off by Fears. He saw that coming. Freshman in transition, got the pass free. Fears trying to work on Hepburn and a traveling violation.
He's going at Hepburn knowing that Hepburn doesn't want to foul. That Hepburn is older, stronger, very disciplined as an on-ball defender.
Tonight's expert moves brought to you by Principal.
Well, it's Jalen Moore from Oklahoma, a very active game. And he has been so good just doing the simple stuff. A lot of points scored off of just one bounce, maybe 2 bounces, or sometimes no bounces of the ball. Now, this is a kid that has drawn 5 fouls in this game. He's 8 out of 8 from the free throw line. He's 7 out of 12 from the field. He's carrying the workload for Oklahoma offensively.
Meanwhile, Case and Pryor lost in the early moments of the second half. A Louisville big who's very active defensively, 6'10", out with a leg injury. And right back to the locker room for treatment. Smith straight on off the back iron. Hepburn keeps it alive. Waterman hit that one wildly. A foul on the floor, however, with 7.5 minutes to go.
Is that on Fears?
If it's on Fears, it would be his 4th.
I'm going to give it to Miles. It will be.
And that is his 4th.
Yeah, the hip check. You won't have a physical box off, but you hip check a guy in the air, you're going to get called for it every time. Oklahoma plays with 3 point guards on the floor at all times. And now they're going to be down to 2, but it's still a heavy ball screen offense because of that perimeter game.
So it'll be Scott to the line, 6'11" sophomore. He's had a solid game here in the championship. Just badly. That one had no chance off the hand. Well, this Case and Pryor, and obviously pretty darn emotional. The towel over his head, lost for the game. It is a big loss for Louisville. Can they overcome it? Elvis, a little push there, sticks it anyway.
He is so good. Has been in this tournament in the mid-range game. And Porter Moser does an outstanding job of getting his guards on the move with the basketball. So they're coming downhill, OB, as they catch the ball. That's a really big deal.
Edwards going airborne, well short. Godwin with the rebound. There's Chucky. Hepburn getting it back. Dribble down for Edwards, and a block. Taylor won it. Up he goes and draws the foul. We've had a lot of fouls here in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
And Chucky Hepburn is a winner. That's all he's ever done. This thing was getting ready to go the other way, and Chucky Hepburn just darts right back in and comes up with a steal, similar to what Jaden Bradley did for Arizona a couple of times. And shot fake, fly at it.
So Edwards to shoot, 78%. You just can't forget where Chucky Hepburn is on the floor.
Never. It seems to me like a game that's going to be very difficult for either team to get a double-figure separation. They're built the same. They're ready for a 15-round fight. They have emphasized grit, moxie, toughness, got it to the championship game. We cannot let go of the rope in that area right now.
Louisville, despite a key loss, the starter, sticking right with Oklahoma in the title game. All Pryor can do is look on. And the freshman Fears brings it up. Moore to the baseline. And a travel. He gives it right back. Louisville has not been very good from three-point territory. Not this year, not tonight, but three-pointer here, and they can tie up this championship game.
Over 50% of Louisville's attempts on the year are from the three-point line. So you know they're going to try to squeeze off 32, 33 a game. They're only shooting 29%, but they have the freedom and the confidence to let it rip at any point with 6:25 to go.
Hepburn on Fears, almost gave it up there. Smith collects. Hepburn kicks. Long one off target. Edwards couldn't convert it. Big rebound by Moore.
He just went and got it, did he not? And that three-point shot had no chance of going in. It was an awkward rotation on the ball.
Taylor drives it to the paint. Yes! That's a determined move.
OB, is pretty simple offense by Oklahoma. They got 4 guys around the perimeter with 1 on the interior, playing a lot of one-on-one, which is fine. There's some greatness in keeping your offense simple.
Bradley bottled up underneath, but he draws the foul.
Some coaches will call this offense summertime or pickup ball. Keep spacing, make plays, drive your guy, some random ball screens. There's nothing wrong with having that in your offense these days in college basketball.
Jalen Moore, first personal to put Hadley to the stripe. 80% foul shooter, 5th-year wing coming from Colorado. Oklahoma at 6-0. The Cardinals of Louisville at 5-1. Neither side anticipated to be in this championship game except by Jimmy Dykes. He was the only one who had them.
I told you on Monday when I saw you, hey, this is a really big game for both Oklahoma and Louisville because of where they were projected going into the season. It feels like a little bigger game for Louisville and the ACC, considering what the SEC has done so far. So you take a big picture look at this thing with 5:32 to go. Pat Kelsey in his first year has got that Louisville brand back on the national stage, and Porter Moser can just coach his rear end off. And both guys right now just fighting and scratching on every possession. Every mistake is magnified right now, will be.
Hepburn his second foul a moment ago. Fears. He goes up with the bigs, and that was not a good idea there.
Not at all.
Waterman right in his face. He's 6'11". Hepburn Smith way downtown. Got it! And this one is tied at 58.
That's all Chucky Hepburn. He gets a piece of that paint. He makes Smith defender come off, which you should not ever do. This is a no threes guy. Fears with a bad decision to try to pivot his way in traffic. And watch Chucky Hepburn. He's going to drive that ball right there and make zero fears come off of Smith, which he should not have done. And you're right, this thing's 58-58 with 5 minutes to go.
Ray Smith is the number 3 scorer for Louisville. It's 14 points a game, but he doesn't start. One of the 3 players that Pat Kelsey brought with him from the college at Charleston. He can really shoot it. Good defender, too.
Smith has only taken 56 two-point attempts in his career, and he's a senior. He's taken now 320 three-point attempts in his career. He is a no-leave guy. He's a no-leave guy, and I'm sure Porter Moser is telling Fears the next time anyone is covering 6 in white, do not leave him. Forget about what the basketball's doing. You cannot come off of a shooter like that.
Last time Louisville led in the game, it was 16-15, but we are all locked up in the championship. Down the stretch we come, under 5 minutes to go.
Card Nation is rising up over there opposite us on the right side behind that bench. It's been years since they have felt that mojo.
Elvis with a pull-up at the elbow, can't hit it. Hepburn with the save on the baseline as he tumbled across.
Porter Moser thought he's out of bounds.
So Louisville with an opportunity to take the lead. Chucky a little bit too strong. Hadley with a big rebound. Got triple teamed immediately. Edwards with a one-hander, and that'll roll off the iron. Fears had it for a moment, it popped free, and now the run out. Taylor going in strong, lays it in.
That is a very, very difficult play by a big kid Taylor, because Hepburn was right there at ball level. Strong with the ball, wouldn't let Hepburn get to it.
Four minutes left. Oklahoma by 2. Hepburn looking for an opening. Keeps on the move. The dish to Hadley with a difficult catch. Now doubled up. Got it back out to the point guard. He'll launch it and can't hit it. Moore with the rebound. Waterman went down on his back. Frenetic play these last several possessions. Moore, he's been a little quiet the last few minutes. He turns. Too strong.
Another big-time, intense game during Feast Week. Started off in Maui, Kansas Duke, and now here we are at the finals of the Battle for Atlantis.
Smith, who just hit a giant 3, and a whistle, a shove, with exactly 3 minutes to go in the Battle for Atlantis championship game. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers. Over 20 years of mowing with an attitude. And by Atlantis Paradise Island, the discovery of a lifetime. Oklahoma by 2 over Louisville here in the final, and the second annual SEC-ACC Challenge gets underway Tuesday night. Our featured men's basketball matchups, number 19 Arkansas taking on Miami. Coverage beginning at 7 Eastern time. And our ESPN doubleheader, number 7 Tennessee hosting Syracuse. That's in Knoxville at 7:30, followed by number 8 Kentucky at Clemson.
And both North Carolina and Duke have big-time opportunities to make a statement in that SEC-ACC Challenge. And both these clubs have an opportunity to do it as well with 3 minutes to go. The rules of a wolf pack. No one can do anything that weakens the pack. And that's where you are right now with 3 to go. You've got to stay competitive, but you've got to be clean with what you're doing individually and not break off and have costly mistakes right now in a one-possession game with 3 to go.
Hadley usually very good at the line, an 80% foul shooter, and makes the second to make it a 1-point game.
Louisville has a plus 18 advantage on the boards. So Louisville has taken 56 shots in this game. Oklahoma only 42. That rebound number eventually will catch up with you.
Kobe Elvis with the ball. That's a name that covers a lot of ground.
It does.
Taylor. Another big-time drive and draws the foul. And many more whistles here in the second half as opposed to the first half for sure.
You know, Porter Moser is actually playing with 5 guards on the floor. I'm counting more as a guy that can drive it like a guard. Taylor certainly can. So he's keeping it simple. He's keeping spacing. He's spreading. He's not using a lot of clock or a lot of passes. Trusting his guys to just get some straight line drives. And at worst, get yourself to the free throw line.
Hadley with the foul. Taylor draining number 1. Taylor with stops at St. John's and Oregon State. Excellent shooter. And ability to shoot over smaller guards. He's 6'6". And makes the pair. Sooners excellent at the foul line.
Maybe this is Chucky Hepburn time, though. 24 in white. He said after last game he's the best point guard in the country. It's time for him to take over.
Smith, second in a row. Missed them both. Another save on the baseline. Waterman has it.
This will probably go in.
Smith, a third, 0 for 3. And they get it back again. Great effort here by Louisville.
That rebound number piling up now, plus 21 on the boards.
Hepburn, no! And finally, the Sooners come away with it as it came to Jalen Moore.
That is amazing. 4 offensive rebounds and nothing to show for it for Louisville.
Under 2 minutes to play in the championship. Jeremiah Fears, the freshman, running the point for the Sooners.
2-man game, empty corner.
He drives it back for Taylor. Taylor on the spin. Got it!
That's a big-time shot by Taylor. He and Moore have been so good, playing off of 2 feet from 8 feet and in.
64-59, the Sooners. Hadley, yes! A huge 3. Javon Hadley, the senior. Back to a 2-point game.
It is hard to kill the will of Oklahoma and Louisville. That's what's gotten them to this championship game. They are all about toughness, grit, moxie, no give in. That's an empty corner that Fears operates out of. He does a good job of stopping, playing off 2, not doing something crazy. And he finds a cutter, Taylor, who makes it tough guarded 2. And then Hepburn, boom. Hadley just steps right into it with a really nice release. We expected a slugfest and a dogfight, and we got one right now with 1:13 to go.
Yeah, it's really shaped up as the best game of this tournament. And the battle for Atlantis. 2-point lead for Oklahoma. Who are the go-to guys you expect to be taking the big shots here in the last minute 13?
That's a great question. If you're Porter Moser, you got Moore right there, 14, who has been held in check now for quite a while on his 24th point. But I like the driving ability of Taylor. I still like Moore driving the ball. You can't get away from Fears, although he's just a young freshman. He's been making some pretty good decisions right now. It's driving the ball and winning the paint, I believe, with 1:13 to go on both ends. If you're Louisville, certainly it all starts with Chucky Hepburn. He has been your dog, your guy, man, that has brought Louisville basketball back to national relevance. And make sure that he stays involved with every possession. And don't forget, Hepburn, one of the best 3 on-ball defenders in the college game, could have a real impact these last couple of possessions.
Well, I think you nailed it. It's exactly what we expected. The way both of these teams have played here in the Bahamas to get here. The officials getting together. Mike Roberts, Tony Padilla, and Jeb Hartness. And now they're sending their teams right back to the huddles. Minute 13 to go. Again, explanation on that. They're going over to the monitor here. So they're looking at something on the review. 1:13 to play. Oklahoma on top 64-62.
Yeah, just making sure that last three-point shot by Louisville, was it a 2 or a 3? Maybe a little bit of question. They thought maybe Oklahoma said to look at it. He's about 2 inches behind it. Maybe the Oklahoma staff said you better go and check it and make sure, but they do the right thing. 2-point game.
Well, one of these teams' fan base is going to be partying tonight. Certainly here in the Bahamas in the championship game. We've got 1:13 left. And later on tonight, Gonzaga and Davidson tangle in the 5th place game. That'll be the last game on this floor in this tournament for this year.
What's behind you? Boy, Hepburn was coming. Yes, sir.
Nearly tipped away. Fears got it back, laid it in.
Wow, Fears with a nose for the ball, and the explosiveness showed up with him winning the foot race to a loose ball at a key time.
4-point lead for the Sooners. Hepburn with it. Getting by Taylor and finishes that.
Yeah, Taylor got his hands a little high. And Hepburn's not a 3-point threat, and he rose up just enough for Hepburn to read it and get downhill.
Louisville taking a timeout, 49.7 on the clock.
The explosiveness of Fears to gather this loose ball. Hepburn, I talked about defensively, almost comes up with a steal. And right there, man, a 50-50 ball that Fears won the foot race. And Hepburn with the answer. Right there, Taylor raised up, Hepburn read it. And once he got even, he was leaving. And Hepburn keeps it a 2-point game with 49 to go.
Great touch to get it up on that iron. He does that so often. And it finds its way through. So a 2-point contest in our championship game. And it's turned into a dandy here as we reset. OU has the possession arrow. Each side with 1 timeout remaining.
Hepburn is such a good, rock-solid on-ball harassing defender, and he's a very smart gambler. If you're Porter Moser, you make sure everybody understands 24 in white is swiper right now, and it has to be swiper, no swiping, because he can change the game right now with a turnover. Fears in particular should be a senior in high school. He's got to be very careful with Hepburn as a defender.
Yeah, Hepburn's so cagey, he can bait you into a mistake. Fears gets it into Miles. And 45 seconds remain. Sooners by 2. Miles, a senior. Looking to make a hard drive. Fears with it. Shot clock at 10. Now down to 8. Moore will draw the foul before the shot. Jalen Moore, who has really been silenced over the last 10 or 11 minutes, hasn't been a big part of the offense for the Sooners, but draws a big foul here.
Porter Moser put Moore in the dunker spot in the first half, and we whiteboarded and talked about how effective he was. In the second half, he's moved him away from the dunker spot, more along the top of the key, and let his downhill driving ability impact the game. Monster free throw attempts for Moore.
But he misses that one. Louisville with a chance to tie or take the lead. 20 seconds left. Shot clock's off. Hepburn to the baseline. Waterman from the corner. He can't hit it. Fears with the rebound, and he's knocked down with 12 seconds to go. But Waterman got a pretty good look from that corner.
What I like about the look is Waterman is 6'10", so he can take and make some guarded threes. And that's about as open as you can look. Taylor with a late closeout, and say all you want about Fears. He has come up with a loose ball for an offensive layup, and he just came up with a big-time loose ball rebound. And I said it last night about this kid. Fears is the kind of guy, OB, that wants to be on the line right now.
We mentioned he was 12 for 14 against PC, against Providence College in the first game. 8 for 8 against Arizona yesterday. Near 90% foul shooter. Absolutely drains the first one.
Jeremiah, no fears.
I think that's going to stick. He's had a great tournament.
This is the one right now that Oklahoma is begging, praying for back in Norman, Oklahoma, as they watch this one.
All-important second shot coming for Fears. They really won that game against Arizona at the foul line. And he makes 1 of 2. 3-point game. The door open here. And a timeout for the Cardinals.
Okay, now Porter Moser was telling his guys to foul. And if you're Louisville, you saw what Porter Moser was telling his guys. Now, is Porter Moser going to change his mind and play this thing out? Because he was definitely telling his team, I want to foul when that ball came across the timeline.
So a timeout. That's it for Louisville. None left. Oklahoma 1 left with 7.3 seconds left in the championship.
Obi, I think fouling with above 5 seconds, I wouldn't go that route. There's too much time left. You make the free throws and you still have time to foul yourself. But if this thing gets below 4 and Oklahoma has practiced it and they know what they're going to do, they may come with a foul. The concern with Louisville knows, I think, that Oklahoma's going to try to foul here based upon what Porter just did. So if you're Oklahoma, you got to be very careful that Louisville doesn't catch it and just get right into the shot motion expecting the foul to come.
Well, Hepburn's a guy who can hit a 3. They lost a guy who can make a big shot in Case and Pryor early in the second half to a leg injury. So trying to win a title without him in a key situation. Waterman's a guy very capable of making a big shot. We'll see about the foul.
I will say this, a 2-point basket doesn't kill you if you're Oklahoma. So defensively, you're talking about everybody's got to be outside that 3-point line. And if we are switching hot and high. We cannot switch and be below the 3-point line and allow Louisville to squeeze one off.
Officials at the monitor with a clock question, apparently. So go back and check it here. The time of the timeout. And should more time be added?
Yeah, when was the timeout granted? Like 7.3, 7.4, somewhere in there? A little different than when did the foul occur. It's when was the timeout granted?
Well, it's been an exciting championship and coming right down to the final seconds. We thought it might. Oklahoma and Louisville, unlikely entries into the championship game, but they could both be off to very special seasons. This tournament has a way of launching seasons for the winner several times. You know, teams winding up in the Sweet 16, Final Fours, national champions.
Championship, yeah. Villanova won it last year and then just fell apart after that.
So they're going to reset the clock to 8.1.
Okay. Think about Oklahoma picked 15th out of 16 teams in the SEC. A chance to get to 7-0 and deserving to be ranked if it happens, by the way. And Louisville with a chance to get to 6-1. And Pat Kelsey continued to build the momentum. There's what you're talking about, OB. That's the kind of mojo you can get from winning a championship like this and carry forward.
Hey, can we get back and play the last 8 seconds? This is taking forever.
It has.
It's time to crown a champion here. My goodness. 67-64. Oklahoma by 3. Louisville with the ball. And let's see how the Sooners play it. Hepburn's going to inbound.
Well, that inbounds guy is sometimes the most dangerous guy if you forget about Hepburn. Tough enough to make a 3-point shot when he's not a great 3-point shooter.
Godwin at 6'10" in front of him. Hepburn, and it's tipped away by Godwin. Went for the steal.
Oklahoma ball.
How about that?
You put size on the ball is what Porter Moser did with Godwin. Wow! He's 6'10", and Hepburn is 6 feet tall. Pat Kelsey may be complaining that maybe Godwin came over the sideline. I'm not sure, but look at Godwin. He's great at what he's good at. That's a legal play, absolutely. That ball was released right by Hepburn.
Kelsey upset. He didn't think so. Didn't think his man had enough room there, but Godwin, what a great play. And they have it on the possession arrow with 6.2 seconds to go.
That play sums up Godwin. He got subbed in to be the big on-ball defender. Massive explosiveness and timing to eat the ball up as Hepburn released it. Now you still got to get it in.
And Louisville will have to quickly foul, and they do. Hepburn fouling Duke Miles on the sideline with 5.2 to go. And he is really not one of their better foul shooters, 67%.
Obi, that defender can't make contact with the ball with a guy out of bounds trying to pass it in until it's released. And I'm pretty sure Hepburn had released that ball. Otherwise, it can be a technical foul. And that's what Pat Kelsey was, I think, arguing. But the replay we saw, Hepburn had released the ball. And these are the closeout free throws for Oklahoma right here.
Miles makes the first. Our player of the game brought to you by Atlantis. Jalen Moore, 24 points. And 7 for 13, 8 out of 9 at the line. Miles with a second one. The senior from Montgomery, Alabama, clutch at the line. 69-64, Oklahoma. They can taste a title here.
How about Boomer Sooner? No one, other than those dudes right there, thought that they could come here and win a title.
Pat Kelsey's still been livid about that play on the sideline. Hepburn from the logo, can't stick it. Wadham with the rebound, that's it! Oklahoma has won it in the Bahamas. They are the princes of Paradise Island. They win the championship by a final score of 69-64.
Auburn takes Maui. Oklahoma takes Atlantis. Pretty good week for the SEC.
NBA coming your way as Oklahoma celebrates a title. Ryan, Doris, and Cassidy with the Clippers and the Bulls. For Jimmy Dykes and our entire crew, thanks for joining us here on the Battle for Atlantis. Oklahoma is the champion.